Story Grandma's house in Kampong Speu. My name is Long Kai, but at school they only call me Kai Chihar. Kai Chihar's talk to me is not arrogant, she is really handsome. The girl who said she did not drown even my aunt sent a motorbike tell me. I am an accounting student at NUM every day in my family, my father, mother and I, while my grandmother was in Kampong Speu. I immediately remembered this province. My brain pushed me to remember 16 years ago during my time in the family travels to visit my cousin in that province. At 1 o'clock in the afternoon, my mother woke me up and Al went to the program house. At 3 o'clock, we arrived at a tile house that saw a building with many people in a hurry. Mom and Dad also went into the house to pray, while I sat outside alone with very bored eyes. Until 5 p.m., my grandmother also walked out of the venue with Dad and Mom because I was too young to understand what the old people were talking about. Mom pulled my hand and told me to say hello and go. She slept at her grandmother's house for another night because the house was crowded and it was difficult for her to sleep, while her parents were at home to help with some chores, such as preparing gifts. Coming to my grandmother's house, the house is built on a large area covered with long grass, fruit trees grow soup, making the atmosphere around the house dark but very cool. In front of the house there is an old village built. From the tin roof, there was a fish pond at the bottom. I saw it and was ready to start playing, but my grandmother called me to leave the bag upstairs and Al took a shower and ate dinner with mango fish sauce. Arrived on the bed with rice, fragrant jasmine rice. She also brought rice and a plate of food to the village with a candle and incense. At that time, I also saw a woman dressed in white standing near the village because of the dark sky. Many trees make the atmosphere of 6 o'clock as dark as night after dinner. And she arranged for me to sleep in the middle of the house because there is no right room. After chatting with him for a while, she went down to take a shower. While I was lying on the mat in the middle of the house, looking up, I saw a big car waving up and down, pressing my eyes, not looking at the phone. After a while, I fell asleep like a sedative. Wow. The sound of the wind blowing through the window made me very cold, while the car slipped and fell. I was sleeping in the middle of the house, with a person covered with a piece of cloth covered with candles on his head, sweating profusely, but trying to increase my courage and reach out and pull out the piece to see my body in a state of disrepair. As pale as a corpse, I was so scared I screamed until I regained consciousness. My body was sweating profusely, and I went downstairs to look for my grandmother, but I could not find her, so I called my mother. "Hello, Mom. I did not see Grandma at home," I said with trembling. Fear came to haunt me very much. However, I did not dare to say anything to him because I was afraid he was worried. Yes, her child forgot her basket a little more, then she went back to sleep first. Yes, my mother went upstairs to look at the clock at 11 o'clock, and the feeling of fear disappeared away. A knock on the door rang in my heart. Or think that she came back when she opened the door. But no one closed the door and went back to sleep. I do not know what to do. I suddenly urinate down the stairs, decorate the table, run to the bathroom for people to walk on each other. Hairy, full body, thin body, reach for the door open. No one thinks that night, no sleep. Until sitting on the bed, dial the phone to see the operation as people were walking up and down the roof. I nodded and looked through the hot hole. Suddenly, a woman with a ghostly face, big eyes, looked at me. At Trich 2, I got up and ran to my cousin's house, who was having the program, gasping for air, praying to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the monks until the house was completed. Everyone got up at the same time, looking at me. Mom rushed to me first. In the morning, after the parade was over, Grandma and Mom took the fortune teller to see if I had done anything wrong, and they were so angry and scared. That grandson's grandma didn't look at his face clearly. But he only knew that he was very angry with you and almost took it fresh. What did the grandson do to him? I was dizzy, my hands were shaking, my legs were shaking. I couldn't remember what I had done wrong. I do not know anything, I just came to visit, what can I do? Yes, my grandson has just come to visit you. What about yesterday? I did something inappropriate. I sprayed urine on the ground under the mango tree while walking to my grandmother's house. That Buddha is the grave of Adi's daughter in our village, isn't it okay? After the eggs are cut, I do not know, I'm scared of ghosts and I'm scared of being scared by my grandmothers again.